Weirdo details on this one, right? Chris Barge, our reporter in Colorado from the Rocky Mountain News. Go, Chris.
Hey, Pat. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, okay, yeah, the story is that Carrie McCandless is charged now, and she turned herself in this morning. The charges are that she was up on a camping trip. She was the sole chaperone with this charter school, and that she had an inappropriate relationship in a room up at the YMCA of the Rockies. This took about a week to break. It actually didn't break until a news reporter called up the police and said, "What do we do about this?" And they said, "First we've heard." The update today is that not only has she been arrested, but also the president of the board of the charter school has been arrested for failing to report, and also for possibly tampering with a witness, which would be a felony.
All right. Now, do we know if she's had an ongoing relationship with this young man, or whether it was a one-time deal? And also, my understanding is that in your state, this kind of betraying betraying a minor doesn't have to do with actually, molesting them. It could be just perhaps kissing them. Could be all kinds of things. So we don't know how in-depth this so-called relationship got that night, correct?
Yeah, we don't know at all, and we're probably not going to know details for probably 3 weeks. The arrest affidavit won't be released until she's advised, and that's not going to happen until December 5th.
All right, now, Gene Casares, Core TV, I'm sorry, this is just so bizarre to me. We've got the 29-year-old who's married to the principal. Then we have let me get this straight, the chairman of the board of the charter school, who just faced his own charges today for not calling the cops fast enough. And it turns out that his own son, who was once a substitute teacher there, also pled guilty at one time to molesting children, not while he was a teacher, but while he was a firefighter. Do I have that straight?
This is very complicated. It gets very complex. Now we're talking about the son of the school board president. He was a substitute teacher, and he met some females while he was a substitute teacher. When he was no longer that substitute teacher, he actually spent New Year's Eve of last year with 3 of the females, ages 14 through 16. He has now pleaded guilty to sexual assault on a child and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. He won't be sentenced until January, but he's facing 12 years himself.
Well, I'll tell you, it looks like nepotism reigns supreme around here. We're going to hear a little bit of sound from one of the school officials. Let's roll that tape.
Any inappropriate contact between teachers and students is something that has to be viewed in the most serious light. In a setting where you have a responsibility towards children, you are compelled, let's say, to make that knowledge available to the proper parties.
It gives you second thoughts. Will I pull my daughter out? No, I don't think so. I'm hoping the school and the principal will do the right thing.
Well, obviously, law enforcement doesn't think the principal did the right thing. But anyway, that was from a KUSA report on the Today Show this morning. All right, Mike Brooks, you with us? Police officer, you've seen these kinds of cases come fast and hard to us lately. What in the world's going on, and what do we do with this case?
I'll tell you what, this school is just a mess, Pat. You've got, good God, the players you've got involved in this. And one of the things I'd be interested in finding out on the father's charges of failure to report child abuse or neglect, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor, as well as tampering with a witness or victim, which is a Class 4 felony. Did any of this also possibly involve his son's case? That would be a question I would also have. When I talked to the Brighton police today, and they would not tell me exactly what probable cause they had, but that again, when he goes to court, that will be unsealed. But it's going to be very anxious to see if it is involving just this case, or it possibly could be involving his son's case also, and exactly what he did to tamper with that victim, because that's a Class 4 felony. They might they could have adjoining cells in Brighton, in the jail in Brighton.
Oh heavens. Okay, we have Alan in Illinois. You with us, Alan?
Hi, Pat.
Hi. What's your question, sir?
Well, my concern is this female teacher, will she get the same amount of punishment as a male? It seems like lately the male sex offenders are getting a lot more time punishment than these female sex offenders.
Well, you know, honey, you just brought up an issue close to my heart, and I want to go to Lillian about this one because, you know, I was hearing just the other day one of the talk shows here in L.A. where, swear to heavens, the talk show host, and this was a serious talk show host, not a game show or fun show or anything like that show, said, well, you know, she's so attractive. Tell me that boy isn't smiling. I mean, please. You know, and then if it's a teacher who's not attractive, then, oh, that's child abuse. What kind of double standard really does exist in the world today on these cases?
Well, that's a really good question. And there have been studies out there that show that when a person looks attractive, they're perceived as being less guilty of a crime, less problematic than those people that are not as attractive. And even though it's not fair, it's a reality. So when people are looking at this very attractive woman who's done this to this child, oh, well, it's okay. And vice versa. If she was unattractive, it would be, oh, that's a terrible thing. So there's a lot of prejudice when it comes to people's appearances.
Holly Hughes, very quickly, as a prosecutor, do you see this sort of a thing, and how would you want to handle it as a prosecutor if it were your case?
Well, obviously, you're going to go for what is an appropriate sentence. You're going to look at the relationship. Was it ongoing? Was it long? And I think that females need to be treated exactly the same as the males. This is an offense against a child. You are in a position of authority. And to abuse that authority and to put that child in a position where he doesn't know if he says no, is it going to affect his grade, his future, his chances for getting into college? I think you come down on the females as harshly as you come down on the males. I think it's inexcusable behavior.
Amen. Amen. And the whole concept that it's okay because she's pretty just makes me
ridiculous.
Crazy. All right, Chris, but let me ask you, do you know anything about the reaction to this young man, this teenager? Is he traumatized, do we know? Is he, you know, what do we know about him?
Yeah, the only thing I could get there was the police chief last week told me that after, you know, he was reluctant to be interviewed, that he was understandably confused over the circumstances, and so you can read into that what you want to. But basically, we're hearing that this was pretty difficult to investigate. That combined with some sluggishness, to say the least, on the part of the school and others to report this. The story is coming out slowly.
Dan Horowitz, defense attorney, any thoughts from the defense side? I mean, do you think there's a double standard in these kind of cases?
I think that we have to look at whether there should be a double standard. I don't think that it's the same when a male teacher exploits 14 to 16-year-old girls like the son of the principal did, or the son of the school board member did, and when a 29-year-old woman has a relationship with a 17-year-old teenager.
You're saying you don't think it's the same?
I don't think it's the same sociologically or psychologically. Look, I think that we have to draw a line in every society. What is the age of consent? And we've decided that 18 is the age of consent in Colorado and in most states, in California, but that does not mean that psychologically a 17-year-old is damaged, and when he turns 18, it's all of a sudden all right. I think that this is a crime where we set a rule, but the kid has probably not been hurt. I bet this kid did not come forward. I bet he's not damaged emotionally. I bet this investigation is hurting him more than the incident with the teacher.
Nancy Grace, brought to you